Hello everybody, my name is Ashley Foley and I am the Career Education Specialist for HDF majors. Today I wanted to talk to you about career pathways. Many of my students, particularly in HDF, come to me a lot of times to explore what they can do with an HDF major and trying to identify the different pathways that they can follow, different careers that might be a best fit for them, and actually what are the things that they can do in the HDF field. And so I'm here to talk to you today about that. The best place to start is to really try to understand a little bit more about yourself, what you're passionate about, and that will help you to clarify your career goals. And so how you can do that is to think about assessing your interests, your strengths, your skills, the experience that you have so far, the accomplishments that you have, and that could be combined from your volunteer work, your high school education, your involvement in clubs and organizations, things that maybe you've seen your parents do, things your parents have not done that you might want to be interested in, and your other academic qualifications. So other things that have interested you in HDF along the way, or how it relates to different careers within HDF. There are different ways that we can do that, and I'm going to showcase those resources for you on our website in a moment. But this will help you to determine this part over here. What do you want to do? What groups or populations do you want to work with? And the second question is particularly important in HDF. Many of your faculty members are going to also reiterate this. This is also something starting from your early fieldwork placements. Your faculty are trying to identify what populations you would like to work with or that you're interested in to help you try to identify that early on. HDF is a study of the lifespan, and so there's so many different pockets and populations that you can identify to work with that it's important to try to identify this question as well. And so doing your research, identifying what you want. And so this is all exploration. We call this career exploration because this is the time for you to start to really dig around within the HDF field to identify what interests you, what kind of populations might you gravitate towards working with, what has fueled you and made you interested in HDF once you signed on as an incoming freshman. What kind of settings would you like to be involved in? And so on our website, we have a great way to be able to do this. In our website, is uri.edu/career. And when you get to the home page and you click on students, this is going to take you to a page specifically for students as it relates to different career clusters. So what we've done is we've identified the industry and how it relates to the majors here at URI. And so HDF falls within this health and health administration cluster here, and we have its own page listed here. So my colleagues and I have put together this page of all of the different resources that you can use as it pertains to anything having to do with career-related education. And so a great place to start is, what can I do with my major? This is the number one resource that I always direct my students towards. What Can I Do With My Major is a website that's created by the University of Tennessee's Career Center. It's the number one resource used among other career centers here across the U.S., but it's a little bit of a boring website. There's a lot of data on it. So if you're more of a visual person, feel free to check out our fun infographic here. But for those of you who are like, yeah, I want to know all of the information, I really suggest clicking into it, going to View All Majors, and going under Education and Human Services. Now you'll notice, just like I had mentioned, it's a little bit of a boring website. It's not flashy, but it's got the information that you need. And this is important because I feel that you can fall down a deep Google rabbit hole of trying to find out this information, where this is very cleanly laid out, it's easy to access, and it's up-to-date, accurate information. So when we go to these different boxes, you'll notice that HDF at URI falls within the different kind of boxes of categories outside of the university. And so mainly the two ones that most of my students in HDF are interested in is human services and child family studies. Feel free to poke around at any of these other boxes, including counseling, education, social work, recreation and leisure studies. This is where occupational therapy falls within. I have a lot of my HDF students interested in that at this time. Social work, a lot of my students are interested in that. But let's just take a look really quickly at an example. Child and family studies. You'll see the website goes into the very different areas that you can go into, employers that typically hire in that industry, and strategies on how you can break into that industry. So this is truly like a cheat sheet to show you through your 4 years here at the university, different things that you can get involved in, that you can do for part-time work, volunteer work, and other strategies on how you can enter into that field effectively. Licensing, if it requires going on for additional education, things like that. Those are all going to be listed here in the strategies. So of course we go into all of these different areas that you could potentially go into. Social services, so a lot of these are going to overlap in the different boxes that I had shown on the previous screen, which is totally okay. A lot of these industries are going to overlap in different ways. But who would have known that you could potentially go into social services and do grant writing within HDF? And if you were interested in that, here are the employers that would potentially hire in that area. And then again, those strategies on how you can break in effectively in order to do that. Advocacy, healthcare, of course, business. Who would have known within HDF that you could go into business with this degree? Absolutely. Businesses are they are a wide-ranging and they are versatile amongst the different businesses that are out there. So just because you didn't study business here at the university doesn't mean that you can't go into this kind of industry with an HDF degree. Communications. And down here we have a little synopsis of generalized information. So here's some more information about that, of different things that you can do that are kind of a little bit more of a summary of all of those areas together. But at the bottom, this is really where it gets even better, because what we can do is take a look at professional associations. So these are people who are already doing what you potentially want to do, and it gives you those resources as an association to delve a little bit deeper into these resources. You can potentially gain a student access or a student membership to these associations to gain access to find out more about that career, join their networking events, get access to their job and internship boards. Of course, most people who are looking for jobs in these different categories are going to look to their associations first, because they know that those are the people that do the kind of job that they are looking to hire for. So this is a great idea of things to get involved in and do virtually while you're still home. Occupational outlook. This is where it really gets good. So now we can take a look at actual jobs within this field and do a little bit more research on them. So let's take a look at social and human service assistants, just as an example. This takes us over to the Occupational Outlook Handbook. And from here, we can see a summary of all of this information, but let's delve a little bit deeper. What they do. Here are the different things that social and human services do. And you'll notice again that we start to break down all of these different populations of things that you can do within that field. So this again is why it's so important to start to identify that. The kind of environment that you'd be working in, how to become one of this job title, become social and human service assistants. So this again is just another cheat sheet on how you can break into this field. Typical pay. So if this is of value to you, this is good to know. With a bachelor's degree, this is the average that most people in this field were making. Job outlook. This is another one that's a favorite for me, because this goes to show that this is a highly fast-paced growing career within HDF and within the industry. And so this goes to show a lot of job growth, a lot of more information about this field. state and area data. So if you're looking to relocate, if you're looking to see what this is here in Rhode Island, this will be able to show that for you. And then if you go through all of these tabs and you're like, actually, this is not exactly what I want to do, here are some related careers that you can take a look at to find out even more information about more careers that might not be this one, but relate. And even more information. So I like ONET because if you're like, hey, I like all of this information, but they still didn't answer a couple of questions for me. ONET has even more information. So we can see what I like most about ONET here is sample of reported job titles. So we've got a whole umbrella here for social and human service assistants, but here are other job reported titles that you might have heard these jobs related to. And so this helps with your search when it comes to searching for these jobs to take a look at what might interest you. And it goes through all of these categories, technology skills that are required, knowledge, skills, abilities, job zone. Let's click on education. I like this because I want to know, do I have to go on for my master's degree in order to break into this field? It's looking like no, right? Bachelor's and high school diploma are required to break in. Master's degree is not looking like it's required, but as we take a look more into this career, does that mean maybe a master's degree later on might help you progress within the field? So we can do that research through something like ONET and OOH. When we go back here to what can I do with my major, we can take a look at related resources that are listed here that will give you even more information in employment opportunities. So these are specific job posting boards. I recommend that you don't stop at just one box. I know this is a lot of information and I know I've given you a lot of homework, but these resources are excellent because you can find out everything that you might want to know about a specific career, path, pay, job availability, skills that are needed, things that you can consider to invest your time in moving forward of gaining those skills that are necessary. I also like ONET because it gives you that sun of bright outlook. So it goes to show that this job is expected to grow within a certain amount of time within the next 10 years. If you are still not sure of what you want to do, we can talk a little bit more about using LinkedIn for that. And that's going to be my next video. So if you're interested in learning more, feel free to reach out to me or tune in for the next video. Thanks so much, everybody.